A doll that looks like she's been dead for 100 years, a disembodied voice in the room, and a demonic spirit with an evil plan to take over the body of a living person. This is the terrifying story behind the real Annabelle haunted doll. Hi, I'm your host, and today we're going to look at the case of Annabelle, which inspired the movie Annabelle and the upcoming movie Annabelle Comes Home. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about how it all started. Annabelle was a Raggedy Ann doll. Like most Raggedy Ann dolls, she had yarn for hair and a red velvet dress with a white apron. She also had a slightly creepy smile. In 1970, Donna, a nursing student from Mount Carmel School of Nursing in New York, was given the doll by her mother. At the time, the doll was 4 years old, according to Annabelle herself. Donna took the doll home and placed her on the shelf in her bedroom. But soon, things got strange. Donna began hearing strange whispers and footsteps coming from around the house when she was alone. One night, she woke up because she felt something sitting on the foot of her bed. When she turned the light on, there was nothing there. However, in the morning, she noticed that Annabelle was sitting at the foot of the bed instead of on the shelf where she had left her. Donna wasn't too worried about this, though, thinking that maybe her roommate had moved the doll. But then it happened again. It was only when Donna had been at college for 2 weeks that she realized that she didn't have a roommate. As these strange incidents continued, Donna began to feel uneasy about the doll, so she decided to take her back to her mother. Her mother, believing that the doll was haunted, gave it to a friend who was a medium. Still, the strange things continued to happen. One day, her new owner found the doll sitting in the middle of the floor staring directly at them. Another time, the doll appeared to be dancing around the room, and other times she would just move positions or hold different objects. So once again, the doll changed hands. It went to a family friend who was a Catholic, who decided to bless the doll and put it in the back of a closet. That is until one day when her daughter, Debbie, was looking for a Halloween costume. The girl came across the doll and brought her out of the closet to show her friends. Little did she know that she was making a big mistake. That night, the family was awoken by screams in the middle of the night. They rushed to Debbie's room and found her standing in the corner screaming at the doll. The doll, they said, had been sitting on the dresser calmly. But when they turned their backs, the girl claimed that the doll had moved. She cried out to her parents that the doll was alive and was reaching out to her, but her parents couldn't see anything. Then the attacks began. For the next 2 days, the girl spoke to the doll and talked to it, saying, get away, please go away." Her parents heard her talking to the doll, but when they entered the room, they couldn't hear anything. The girl begged her parents not to leave her alone because she believed that the doll would come after her, and when they did, they found scratches on their bodies. So they knew that their daughter wasn't making it up. So they called someone who they hoped could help them. That someone was Lorraine Warren, a self-proclaimed clairvoyant and expert in paranormal investigation. Now, while Lorraine claims that she was called in, documents show that she actually showed up uninvited. Nevertheless, she was taken to the house where she saw the doll and spoke to Debbie. Lorraine claimed that she was able to communicate with the spirit inside the doll and was told its name, Annabelle Higgins, and that she died in 1928 at the age of 7. Lorraine said that the spirit was Aunt Malevolent, but was trying to contact her mother who had recently passed away. So Lorraine suggested that they place a picture of her mom next to the doll. But even after this, the activity continued. This time, though, Lorraine claimed that it wasn't Annabelle, but rather a demon named Moloch who was possessing the doll. During the investigation, Lorraine was allegedly scratched by the doll, leaving a permanent scar on her arm. Lorraine and her husband, Ed, who was a self-proclaimed demonologist, decided to take the doll with them to their home, where they locked her in a glass case in their museum, which is known as the Warrens Occult Museum. Now, Lorraine and Ed were well known for investigating other cases involving demons, ghosts, and other scary things. You may have heard of the Amityville Horror or the Enfield Poltergeist cases. They are the cases that inspired the movies The Amityville Horror and The Conjuring 2, respectively. In addition to Annabelle, the Wrens had hundreds of other artifacts that they said were haunted. In total, they said that they investigated more than 10,000 cases over the course of their careers, though many of the cases that they investigated later turned out to be hoaxes. In fact, the pair were so infamous that many people began accusing them of making up cases in order to stay famous. Nevertheless, the Warrens remained famous until their deaths. Ed died in 2006 and Lorraine died in 2019. Both are survived by their son-in-law, Tony Spera, who cares for the artifacts that they collected during their investigations. As for the doll, she is still said to be on display in the Warrens' Occult Museum. While the current owners say that she isn't able to leave the museum, there was one incident in 1989 when she apparently escaped. According to Tony, the doll was being transported from the museum to another location for an investigation when she managed to crawl out of the container that she was being held in. When those transporting her looked back, they saw the doll standing on the seat. They quickly put her back in the container, never stopping to look back. For a long time, no one dared to move the doll. But in 2015, it was decided that she needed to be moved so that work could be done on the building. The doll was moved to a separate room and then returned to the main museum. Shortly after, workers began reporting strange happenings, including doors opening and closing on their own, shaking and vibrating, and whispering voices. Is it possible that Annabelle was really haunted? Or was the Warrens' fame getting the best of people, making them believe whatever they wanted to believe? In reality, we don't know. The truth is that the world of paranormal investigation is largely unregulated. Anyone can call themselves a paranormal investigator, and while there are plenty of people out there who mean well and want to help others, there are also plenty of people who would do anything for attention or money. There are plenty of examples of fake hauntings. For example, in 2013, Helen Acton, a woman from England, was sentenced to 4 months in jail for falsely claiming that her home was haunted. She had used ghost hunting equipment to make it seem as though her home was haunted when it was end. She then rented out the home for ghost hunters to investigate, charging them admission for the night. It sounds crazy, right? But the desire for attention or money is a powerful thing, and some people will do almost anything to get it. Of course, not everyone who investigates paranormal activity is a fraud. Some are genuinely interested in the field and just want to help people. The problem is that without any way to prove or disprove the existence of ghosts, anyone can claim to be an expert. Regardless, the Warrens gained quite a reputation over the years, and their work inspired many people. In addition to the previously mentioned movies, there are also 2 movies based on the Annabelle doll. The first movie, simply titled Annabelle, was released in 2014 and grossed more than $326 million worldwide. A sequel, Annabelle, a Creation, was released in 2017 and grossed more than $306 million worldwide. Now, if you think that that's impressive, just wait until you hear the numbers for the highest-grossing horror movie of all time. That title belongs to the 2017 movie It, which grossed more than $701 million worldwide. Regardless of what you think of paranormal investigators, there's no denying that the stories they tell make for great movies and can keep us entertained for hours on end. What do you think? Is the Annabelle doll haunted? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and come back for more content like this. See you next time.